Welcome to the Rec Room Podcast. This is episode
35.
35. Is it 35?
It's
Close
gonna be.
to
It's
it.
gonna be.
Bottom line,
It's gonna be 35.
we in the 30s. I'm E1. I'm your host. We got Trey Philando in the building.
That be me.
We got Weekend and Juniors.
Yo.
And we got my man AG.
One and only.
What's good with y'all, man?
Finally,
Good. Yeah.
you
Off
did.
injured reserve.
God, dang, AG.
Bro, you finally in the building.
Hey, man.
People
Happy to be
sign
here.
another
Healthy.
deal, huh?
Hey, man.
Sign
So what's
another
good
deal.
with y'all, man?
Man.
Bruh, long week. AG, you people been asking about you, man. So what's
Hey,
up, man? How you
look,
been?
International travel has taken a
Absolutely.
lot out of me. I'm taking my vitamins again. I cracked my ankle. I'm happy to be here. I can't have y'all be the only ones in front of the camera. I gotta let the people know who you are. You know what I mean? We gotta expand our reach, man.
How many ankle situations have
man,
you
now you
had
gonna do
in the
that,
past
man.
year? No.
Like two.
Okay.
Two.
So
Don't bring up the age thing.
No. You're a young man. So
Yeah.
how quickly would you tell the people that you
Yeah.
should get back to your normalcy, or should you take it easy with the
Man, listen,
ankle?
take it from me. Physical therapy is a beautiful thing. Listen to what the doctors say. Don't think, I can do this. Let me just go ahead and just thug it out. No. Especially when you get to our certain age, man, start taking your vitamins, take calcium pills, and take it easy. But I don't understand any of that, so I'm probably going to fuck my ankle up again.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie to you. So in about 6 to 9 months, we're going to be going through the same thing. But it is what it
hard
is.
in the gym. You go hard in
It's
the
all
paint.
it is, man. I'm just trying to live life.
But it happened because of
Yeah.
the activity that you're doing
Absolutely.
when you're constantly working on yourself, right?
Absolutely,
Okay,
man.
I got it.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
The name of today's pod is response time, right? And we're gonna get into. I don't know if you all are familiar with Kirk Franklin, but he's a gospel artist. I guess he sings. He also produces. He's world renowned, so I'm sure you've heard the name before. But lately he put out a documentary, and it was called A Father's Day. And in this documentary, he basically was actually talking about he's doing a new album. And he's chronicling the new album, something he doesn't do. While he was doing this new album, he found out that the father that he thought was his biological father is not his father, and he filmed it all. So it was a dope, special or whatever.
Yep.
It's on YouTube. And we're going to talk about that, but then we're going to start talking about something that we went through and how we overcame that. But before we even do that, we're going to get into this football. And we talk every week. It seems like we talk about Coach Brown.
Every week,
It seems
bro.
like
'Cause he
Colorado.
doing his
As
thing.
we should, though.
It's like world news at this point.
As we
And
should.
they played yesterday. They played yesterday
Yep.
actually.
Yeah,
And
Arizona State.
they beat. Well, it was Arizona State. They beat Arizona State. They barely won. It was a team that people predicted that they should have, beat real bad.
Yeah.
But it's college football. It's any given. They say any given Sunday is any given Saturday when you
sure.
play sports. No matter who you play, you got to suit up and see who's gonna win. But they did win, and they 4-2 now.
Yeah,
So,
they winning the games that you're supposed to win are sometimes tougher mentally.
Exactly.
Because you're going into it without your best player, Travis Hunter. He's still out. By the way, the dope part with Travis Hunter is that the kid that hurt him was receiving death threats, right? And so over the past 2 weeks, Travis Hunter has been releasing videos that he's done with the guy. They went bowling and things like that. So he's just showing, he's giving people grace. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to injure Hunter like that, but Hunter's showing him grace. So, but yeah, winning the games that you're supposed to win is sometimes tough. Those will be,
no, it's dope that they doing that. Now, we everybody has a different NFL team here, right? So I'm Washington Commanders. I don't even like to call them the Commanders. It is what it is. That's my home team. We got a Frisco fan in here. We got Chicago Bears. I don't know why this dude brought his jersey.
bang, bang.
I don't know why he did that. And then we got a newly Philadelphia Eagles fan next
6 months ago.
Wow.
Are you an Eagles fan?
He knew.
Hold on, you an Eagle? I thought you was a
I
Skins
thought it
fan.
was just Reed.
When
but-
have you ever heard me say these?
Maybe I assume. Maybe I assume that's what
I've
it
known
was.
you since the 3rd grade, my man, before I could even speak English
Bro, the
properly.
application
I'm
is
sure
out
I
by
don't
the
remember
Eagles,
you
bro.
rooting for. I don't remember you rooting for somebody, but I just default the Skins.
That's just
my
the
bad.
default,
That's my
right?
bad.
No, but some explanation because nobody asked, but everybody should know. is that I really don't follow football like that. More for boxing and basketball. I just like talking trash though. And believe it or not, I reverse engineered it because my wife was a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and then I'm like, I think Mike Vick is cool, and just because of that, literally just because of that, just because of that, and then they started winning when I started liking them. So I'm not saying that I didn't have anything to do with it, but I'm not saying I didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Well, it's not like a other friend who just migrated from a Redskins
It's not like I have any like tattoos
overnight.
of Philadelphia Eagles.
Bro, it's like everybody knows the Eagles. I don't have
shit thing, you know. No, but I don't follow football like that. I just like talking trash.
No, I'm messing with you though. But to keep it football, actually, my team with the Commanders, we played Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears were 0-4.
Hold on. See, first of all, see the disrespect, the level is you know, you're very highly intelligent, and I got it. But I see how the angles, bro. It's like
because guess what? You got the final laugh. I was gonna say I think y'all were 0-4, right? No.
You know how
we played y'all at home and we got smashed. That's the bottom line. And we took an L that we shouldn't have taken, and it made me feel like the old Commanders, man, where we supposed to be the team, and then the team comes in and they look like a Super Bowl contender against us, and I get tired of that. I'm gonna be honest about it. But an L is an L. We took the L. Congratulations to you guys, man.
Thank you, bro. So I was there because you asked me. I was there. Okay, I'm gonna paint the scene real quick. You in the dig? So white people are the best people to you before the game. When they're drunk, they give you food, they give you liquor. It's fantastic.
Facts.
We went in the game, everybody's still warm and nice. The end of the game, they're not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? They act like all this shit before the game never happened. My seats were fantastic. Guess who I was sitting 2 seats from, guys?
Who?
Justin Fields' father and Justin Fields' mother.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Justin Fields' father gave me £1 after the game. True story.
Wow.
Gave me £1 after the game. His son put on a great performance. Everybody was giving him heck. But listen, the kid is growing. He's growing. So, and we won. Okay, and we won.
No, that was dope.
Good.
That's my story. It warms my heart.
There's nothing I can say about it, but
y'all should have beat the Eagles, bro.
Man,
I was proud of y'all though. Like I thought I ain't gonna lie. I
think I'm not here.
Ain't no more victories.
You did?
I picked them to beat the Eagles. I think, I don't think the Eagles are the same because
y'all not sorry though, man.
Because their coordinators are not the same as last year.
We not sorry,
You know what I mean?
but I don't know, man. The L is an L, bro.
Y'all tough. So look, we can
must
have
hurt.
What's up with the 49ers, bro?
And hold on, do they have
doing?
do our teams? They haven't lost yet, right? I mean, I don't know.
on, bro.
What's y'all? Hold on, have y'all lost?
No, 4-0.
Y'all 4-0. Well, we play the Cowboys today, so that's when
You should win that.
I mean, should and what's
Should,
actually
you will
happening.
win. You will
They
win.
not a
That.
walk
I'm already in the
not gonna
future.
call, I know that's y'all enemy. I'm not gonna call them. They not bums, nothing like
No,
that,
they
bro.
said they were.
Well,
You know,
they
I
just
love,
gonna lose.
I love every time Dallas Cowboys does lose. Oh, and like I
As you
said,
should.
I'm gonna keep it so real. So y'all see, we got the Andre 3000
Dope.
figurine. We got the Jimi Hendrix, right?
And Paul.
I could have got the big boy one, but he has a Dallas Cowboys jersey on, so I couldn't.
So
get
you
it.
can't have inside.
No,
your
not
home.
at all.
Never,
No,
bro.
it's on.
I never even used Dallas in Madden, bro.
I
Wow.
hate Aaron Rodgers in a Jets uniform. That's how much That's the, so I feel you on it. I can't. It doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers, you always Green Bay. So I feel you. You can't have a Cowboys. You can't have it inside.
I got a question for you. I noticed someone's missing here from the greats. A certain GOAT is not front and center. What's going on with that?
Who a goat and what? Who?
A GOAT, Nas.
Oh,
how
my
come
God,
Nas is
bro.
not here? I don't see
Hey,
the half moon,
they don't
the low
make-
cut fade,
they
the
don't
chip
make
to
it.
Don.
They don't have a
They don't
Nas
have a
figure.
Nas. Hey, hold on, but would you get a Nas on though?
I would. Y'all think, look, Nas is dope.
Yeah, tell them
Nas
what's
is
going
dope,
on.
man. I mean, he is one of the greatest.
Absolutely.
Sometimes his beat selection has been a little off to me.
Since Hit Boy. Since Hit
No,
Boy?
that's his Hit Boy.
Okay.
He really gets it.
Chico,
He's a classic. I mean, he's a goat. He is one of the goats. He's not my all time goat.
Yeah.
He's one of the goats, and he does have. I guess when you make a large body of work,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah.
have good songs. You have songs that people don't like. Sometimes Nas can be boring to me.
Okay.
But overall,
It's a
he's
shame.
a goat. I mean, I
love
can't
how
take
emphasizes
that away
boring.
I don't
from him.
understand
like
this.
He not
Straight
Pac,
ready to
he
fight.
not Pac, but he Nas. You know what I mean? And
he
that's
Nas.
cool. That's cool.
I love them both equally.
You don't have a favorite child.
I love Pac and Nas both equally. We're gonna get into that on the whole pod
you know
one
what
time.
I wanted to ask y'all? Okay, so real quick, Drake came out with a new album, right? Called, what's the name of it?
For the Dogs.
For the Dog, for all my dogs, or something like that. So I always listen to Drake's album when they first come out,
As you should.
and I listened to this one. I try not to listen too fast to it. You know, I listened to it about 3 times, and to me, it's slum, bro.
Yep.
And with me saying that, it seems like when I'm looking online, it's a lot of other people that believe that also. That seems like the census, you know, of it or whatever. And Joe Budden had made a statement, basically kind of going in on the album and going in on Drake. He's only giving his opinion, and it seemed like Drake took it personal and wrote this whole paragraph about Joe Budden. Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
No, I did not.
I shared it on the group chat,
I did
bro.
not see that.
Joe
I did not
Budden,
see that.
he comes across like real harsh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people don't understand. First of all, he comes from a different generation, so he's more so about lyricism. And honestly, like he low key likes Drake.
Yeah.
He's coming from
A
like
fan.
he just criticizing as a real rapper. So so the thing that people always throw back at him is like he's like a failed rapper. Like they use that pump it up, or because he's not super successful. But success, when I realized with rap, man, it's a lot. Success is different for every rapper. Everybody's not gonna be Drake. You look at Currency. Currency has a cult following. A lot of artists have a cult following. I'm not really a super Slaughterhouse fan. I respect them and love them for the lyricism that we went to a show, you know what I'm saying? But they got a cult following. Joe Budden have people. Now I'm a mood music fan, you know what I mean? So like he don't have to have a jet or have more money than Drake, but that's that's the way a lot of people these days, a lot of the artists, that's their rebuttal for a lot of issues. You can't talk about skill anymore. If I say if you a young rapper and I'm an OG and I'm like criticizing you, the first thing you're gonna say is that you broke.
Damn. But Joe Budden ain't broke though. That's the thing about it, right? Because Joe Budden, he's a media man. He's parlayed it. First of all, he's independent. Yeah. You know, he doesn't have to answer to anyone. He's not like Drake where he can and can't say certain things. And quite frankly, I don't like Drake's character. He has beta male tendencies. And I'll explain. First, you start beefing with Pusha. Pusha puts you in your place, then you disappear. Now you come out with an album that a lot of people, such as he and others who hear it, like, hey, this isn't it. And now he has stomach issues. And then when somebody expresses that to me, I thought Joe was good. He was acting like a fan. He's like, hey, I like your music at times. This wasn't it. And he starts getting personal, saying he's a failure. How is this man a failure that has a successful podcast?
I didn't even see that. I didn't even see the response.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, go ahead.
I mean, I think a lot of Drake fans now are realizing that homie's not him anymore.
Well, this is what I'll say. When you been on top that long and I had a run like Drake, putting out an album that's not so good, who cares? You know what I mean? You've already solidified who you are.
True.
You're one of the greatest in the game, sales wise, and some people feel like lyrically. So it's just, I think with Joe Budden has a following, and so because Joe Budden has a following and he speaks kind of harsh and direct, you know, artists are human too. So even though it's easy for somebody to say, well, Drake, why do you care? You have money, you have success. You're still a human at the end of the day. So when you hear certain stuff from certain people, it's going to blow you. I mean, that's just what it is. But overall, I had to take another listen to the album. But to me, when he said he's taking a break, I think it'd be good for him to take a little break because the album to me was just not. I mean, if it's playing in here right now, it'll probably be cool. But if I'm just driving and zoning to it, it's just
So let me ask the group. So is Drake known for great albums, or is Drake known for great singles with great lyricism in the singles?
Great music in general.
He's had a very high batting average, bro.
Like
he's had a very high batting average.
I was talking to T yesterday. He was like he saw something on I don't know if it was Twitter or the gram, but he was like, I think Kendrick makes great albums.
Yep.
J. Cole is like when you're talking about the lyricism and technology, the technicals of rapping, he's like the better rapper. But Drake he's a better, like, Drake is an artist.
Drake is an artist.
I don't look at him personally as just like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. He's like a real artist, so he can that broadens his horizon, his spectrum. So he can do more things. That's what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's released different type of albums. His albums are not all rap.
His
anyway.
music though is music that can be enjoyed by all. You know what I mean? It's not like a niche product. Like you have some artists that you can listen to. Like let's say we'll put Nas on right now. He may not vibe to it. We may relate to it. He might put on Pac. I may not vibe to it.
Love Pac.
You know what I mean?
You have to vibe to Pac.
But I'm just saying, not everything is for everybody. You know what I mean? That's why we have, your specialty artists. You have your niche product and services.
Bro, it literally is mood music. It literally is. You can't be in the gym listening to jazz.
Nope.
Right? It has to be something. Drake's last 2 albums before this one, I love both of them.
Yeah, I like them.
I thought they was
Honestly,
crazy, bro.
The house rap music.
What's the Certified Lover Boy one? When what's the Certified Lover Boy?
John with him at 21 Savage.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, without 21,
you know
without 21.
Nah,
You don't like
21 did
21?
his thing on there.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, all right.
He
All
got
right.
21
That's a
has
problem.
hair. E.
That's a
I've
problem.
noticed that Trey
so-
has a
so
problem with
Hey,
all
man,
artists
come
that
Okay,
have
so that
hair.
was personal.
you gotta
So
be
we gotta
bald
edit that.
headed.
We gotta
I
edit
know
that.
they like 21.
That's the first
Long
edit.
hair.
No.
You gotta be bald headed. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Think
last
about
2
it.
Drake
Think
joints to
about
me
it.
was hot. The whole R&B, the club
Yeah.
joint.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I mean, he got a couple of joints on this one, but it's okay. He's still Drake. So
It's no
You know what's
Take care.
ironic
Who gives a
though?
shit? He's still Drake.
You know what's
Don't take
ironic
care.
though? A lot of people when Drake first came out thought that he took Joe Budden's mood music with So Far Gone. Listen to So Far Gone.
I love
You
So
dig what I'm
Far
saying?
Gone.
It's very introspective,
Yeah,
right?
true.
So like it's cool. Like I get it. And there was even stuff back then, but I gotta say, man, like to me, Drake is a solid ass artist.
Drake is
You
ill,
can
bro.
just shuffle
Drake
it,
is ill. He's
and you
ill.
can be anywhere, and people
He's
will
ill.
like
Rap
his songs
and sing.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
and act.
He's great. And act.
It's just those better
dope.
made
It's just-
And he's funny. And he's funny
He
in
is
his little
funny.
skits and all that. I
Yeah.
seen him on
Yep.
IG with the little skits and stuff. He's
an
funny,
actor.
bro.
He's a superstar.
He's a
You know?
superstar.
Yeah, he is.
He's a superstar.
100%.
But
But,
Michael Jackson.
We gonna get into today's topic.
disrespectful.
You said he's what? Say it again.
What you say?
He's like a new age Michael
don't you
Jackson.
dare.
So-
Don't
No.
you dare. Don't you
He's like a
dare.
new age Michael Jackson.
No,
No,
it's not.
it-
No,
no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
right
from
now.
a
Nope.
he's global.
Come
right?
on, man. Well, we
I
can't
didn't say he
do
could
that.
dance better than
Nah,
Mike.
we
You're
can't.
thinking
First
Bad
talking
Bunny,
about
bro.
glow.
It's Mike
Yeah,
Berry.
You're thinking
Right.
about Bad Bunny.
Yeah, worldwide.
Right,
Worldwide Bad Bunny.
International.
International
Right, but
Bad
you
Bunny.
could say
bro.
Bad Bunny, but which he is global.
I'm not saying
He's
that.
global, but you could go right down the street and somebody might not know who Bad Bunny is, but it doesn't mean Bad Bunny is not
Bro,
Bad Bunny.
Listen, Bad
feel what I'm
Bunny
saying?
is being 100% Boricua. He's
He's
talking
dope.
to you in Spanish and
He's
it's playing
dope.
on radio
And I still
where
like
they don't
it.
know Spanish.
I still like
Do you
it.
I
understand
don't
that?
know what
Do you
it
know how
means.
powerful that is?
He's dope, and you still like it.
We're outside of that one place that
Is
one
Bad
time
Bunny
a Bad
thing
Bunny
better
song
than
came
Pun?
on. In what respect?
Just pun
In what respect, though?
everything.
You got it. Like it's subjective, right? Bad Bunny is more popular than Pun.
Well,
For sure.
He's
subjective.
introducing more people to the Puerto Rican culture than Pun.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, he's a
like,
worldwide
Yeah,
artist.
he's like,
bruh, he's
yeah,
I
out
will go
there
see
for
Bad
here.
Bunny with you, and I'm sure
I
I'll have
will
a dope
translate
bad
the
time.
whole time, my
Nah,
good
I
brother.
just vibe to it.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
You will have fun. We've been in, you and I,
Well,
we've been in certain
we've been in
situations
certain
where the language is not
situations where the
spoken,
language- You still understand,
and
it.
you understand the vibe. So
Yeah, that,
I'm
that,
sorry,
that was
yeah.
something.
Nah,
that,
you
that was
good.
something we wasn't invited to.
You know,
You're always welcome.
You know what?
always
Bunny
welcome.
crazy.
I feel away.
You know,
always
music.
welcome.
We talk all day about that. So you already know how that goes. So
This is very true.
I'm out to get to this topic.
This
man.
is very
But
true.
like I said at the beginning, today's topic
Yep.
is it's called response time, and what we mean by response time is basically when you face some adversity. What was your response time? How long did it take you to actually overcome what you overcame? And what were the steps that you took to overcome, what happened to you? And so the first thing I'm going to talk about is Kirk Franklin's documentary. This documentary was very interesting because it documented, he grew up, he was adopted. He knew that he was adopted since he was young. And the person who he thought was his father, Kirk Franklin said on his father's deathbed, he went and he talked to his father and expressed some things to him, and the response that his father gave was so like shallow. It was just like Kirk Franklin was just like, whatever, man. You know what I mean? And that was that. And then one of either his singers or it was a family member, I can't remember, somebody that does music with him went to a funeral of one of his family members, and when they were there, Kirk Franklin's actual father was at the funeral.
There. He was there.
And then he told the girl, I guess, that hey, there's a possibility that I could be his father or something like that, right?
Because he looked so much like him.
Yeah,
right.
and
The
then
girl
they
was
start
like,
looking
yo,
at
like,
it.
you look like him.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so after that, the rumor mill started to the point that Kirk Franklin wanted to check himself. And I think, did he reach out to him?
He did eventually reach out to him, which got the wheels turning.
Got the wheels turning. Now, we know all this because Kirk Franklin was saying that he just happened to be filming his 13th album, which is dope to have 13 albums out. Yeah. And so he said, I might as well just chronicle this. He told his mom about it, and she was basically saying there's no possibility, it's bullshit. You know who your father is. I told you your father was.
At all.
Long story short, he ended up meeting with the guy who is his real father, and they took a DNA test, and it came back that was his father, right? And then he told his mom was basically like kirked out, like don't bring this shit to me, you know, like this ain't true. So they had her come and they did another test, and it came to be again that the results came out that yes, this is Kirk Franklin's biological father. Kirk Franklin was very emotional. His father was also very emotional. And that's just an emotional thing, especially I can't imagine thinking that someone is my father the whole time. And mind you, hadn't talked to his mom in 20 years. I don't know what their whole beef is about. But he found out he was his father. He was very emotional. Kirk Franklin was actually going through something with one of his sons. He hadn't spoken to him in 2 years. So by him finding out that was his father, it made him feel like, you know what? I need to get things right with one of my sons. And, you know, they did that. It was very emotional. It was very deep. And it seemed like that Kirk Franklin's way of dealing with everything that was going on is actually him making the album and him being around special people or close people in his life that kind of helped him go through it, because it felt like that it was their journey as well as his. So that's in a nutshell what the story was. I don't know if you all have any comments about it, but you can speak on it, or we can start talk. We can get into, or one of you all can tell the story of how you had to overcome some things in life, and what did you do to do it?
Well, AJ, do your thing.
I mean, first and foremost, right? I hope that not many people can relate to what he went through, because that's tough. You know, your whole life essentially being a lie where you thought that the person that was your father is not your father. And then your mom, you know, you talk to your mom and say, hey, what's going on here? You know, this is what I'm hearing. No, you know, they're filling your head with lies or whatever. And you're trying to, you know, get some closure, because as a child, we've all been through it where we know something ain't right. You know, some more than others, right? I think we all can relate.
You can feel something, right?
And I think that's that intuition. You feel it in your stomach. And, you know, as men, we carry too much of that. You know what I mean? We carry that. We keep our mouth shut because we don't want to come across a certain way. But, you know, I think that I applaud him for even sharing this story, because a lot of men wouldn't share this. You know, this is obviously, you know, something that is deep and personal to him. And it makes him, you know, feel not the greatest when he's telling this story. So for him to document it and share it along with the rollout of the album, I think it's going to do great for bringing attention to the album, because you'll listen to the album differently. You're going to be like, oh, I get what he's talking about now, possibly relate. I think the dope part about it is not talking to his child and actually trying to build that relationship after a couple of years, saying, look, I know what that child feels like. So let me make sure that child, or I'll break that generational curse. I think that's dope.
Or generational trauma.
Or generational trauma, correct. Thank you for the correction. But I just think that, unfortunately, there are just too many examples of this going on now. You know, this is a public figure that's going through it. But how many people are going through this right now in relationships? You know what I mean? You know how many
alone, like, and they feel alone.
Yeah,
right?
It has you can tell how it plays an effect on, or speaking for Kirk, how it plays an effect on him as a person, like him not knowing who he is. Like you can see the pain. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with. I was blessed enough to have both my actual parents in my life, right? You know what I'm saying? But I grew up with people, friends, family. You know what I'm saying? Who didn't know who their father was, or knew who their father was and wasn't in their life. Like one side of my family, like my dad grew up with his mother and his father. You know what I'm saying? Then my mother, she like. Father wasn't in life, so all they had was my grandma and all my uncles. I got like 6 uncles on that side. All with their dads were like estranged. You know what I'm saying? And like I didn't understand it growing up. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a kid, but but now as an adult, I can see how it plays an effect on their personalities and their trauma and the things that they went through, the reason they respond to certain things, the reason they don't do things, the reason they can't express certain feelings. You know what I'm saying? And like even as adults, like they're like in their 60s and 70s, talking to me, they're still dealing with it. I can still see their pain. So it's definitely. I watched a couple Kirk Franklin interviews after this, besides the documentary one with Sway and the one on Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? And I was just listening to him, and he's still, you can tell he's still going through. It's like a process. He's still trying to grapple everything, and he was trying to contain himself. You know what I'm saying? It was so many emotions going on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just therapy for him. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
in front of the world,
in
front of the world is therapy.
Yeah,
definitely. Have y'all had? So, has any of y'all have a story of like a time? I mean, we don't have the Kirk Franklin story, but you know,
right.
But just like a story of something that you went through, and that you know, at first it was a dark time, but then it ended up being, you know, a brighter time. And then what did you do to get, you know, how did you get through that or whatever? I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just give a story, and I asked my wife, did she even want me to share this before I even talked about it? And she was okay with it, but I'm gonna just speak of a time where, you know, I think when you live a certain amount of time, everybody experiences downfalls and tragedy and all those things. And so I just had a situation where I had gotten married, and everything was perfect in our marriage. The way we met was perfect. The amount of time that it took us to get to know each other, it was short, but it was perfect. We got married, we got a house, you know, everything was going good. So I knew in my mind that there would be a challenge in our life, but I didn't know what the challenge would be. Before, you know, we thought that we would be able to have a child when we wanted to have a child and how we wanted to have a child in our timeline, but it wasn't working out like that. And 1 year passed and no pregnancy. 2 year passed and no pregnancy. 3 year passed, no pregnancy. 4 year passed and no pregnancy. 5 year passed and no pregnancy. And what that does is it takes a toll on your marriage, because everywhere you go, when you're a new couple, everybody asks, so when y'all having a baby?
The same question.
When y'all having a baby?
That's the first one.
And it's like, and they don't mean anything by it. But you just thinking to your mind like, I wish I do, you know what I'm saying? But you playing it off, and you like, oh yeah, soon and all that. Nah, it wasn't happening like that. I go to the doctor, she go to the doctor, we both all right, but we don't know why it's not happening. And then guess what? It finally happens, right? And I'm ecstatic and I'm happy about it, and I feel so blessed. And then about maybe 3 weeks or a month after I find out the news, my wife has a stroke. So I'm at the point where we wanted this to happen, and it finally happened, and now it happened, and now my wife has a stroke. And at this point, you know, my faith is really high, but I never really questioned God like that. But this time I did, because I felt like, damn, I'm doing, you know, I'm not perfect, but we doing everything the right way, the way we're supposed to do it.
Yeah, right.
Come on, Slim, you know what I mean? And I never really called out to him like that, like, I don't get it no more. So she's in the hospital, and you know, luckily she didn't have any ailments that were permanent. But they came in and they was like, hey, you know, we're gonna have to operate on her, and you know, we're gonna have to do something, that you gotta do something to put a pin in her brain. All this crazy shit, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, it felt surreal, man. It just felt like, I mean, I know bad things happen to good people, and I'm not perfect. We not perfect, but I'm just like, can we get a break, man? We've been through so much. And so they do the operation and everything goes good, right? Okay. And so that's the sad part of the story, right? But the good part of the story is we were able to have my son. She didn't lose the baby, right?
Thank God.
But in that time, when I was so low, the only thing that picked us up, I'm gonna be honest, I never saw the outpour of friends and family like I did.
Wow.
In that situation. Wow. And it was to the point where everybody visited her in the hospital, from my family to her family. I've never had the outpour of love like that. And the way that people were offering to fix us food, and they were doing that. They were coming to visit. And it was just people who I didn't even expect to even come visit during that time. And if it wasn't for those people, I just don't know, how we would have got through it. And they called her like a miracle person because she didn't have any ailments after that. She had the therapy that she needed and stuff, but everything was good. My son was born healthy, and that's the positive part of
Beautiful.
it. But now I'm getting to the part of what did I do when I went through that? Yeah, I kept praying and everything, but praying without works don't mean anything. So as I'm praying and everything like that, people are really coming to our aid. Even when she came home and she had to go through therapy and stuff like that, people were bringing food. I mean, it really showed me who your real friends and family are. And sometimes until you go through stuff, you don't really know who's in your corner like that. You might even think about it like that until something happens. But when that happened, the way I got through it was literally friends and family, man. And that was the most, I'm just so gracious to people. I told some of my cousins, like, if y'all ever need me, whatever y'all need, I got y'all, because they came through for me. And I really mean that, you know. That's how I got through that adversity. That was one of the toughest times in my life. I'm talking about me. She probably worse for her. But I'm just saying, for me, mentally, that was tough. And the way I got through it is by having good people around me that actually show me that they love us, man.
It's the environment.
And that was my,
Well, let me ask you, Ian. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Man, you set the tone.
Thank you for sharing that.
When you got through it, and now that everything is, you have a lovely family, everybody's healthy. Looking back, do you see that any good could have come out of it? Like, now that you're through it, and now that the kind of the emotions aren't the same as they used to be, do you think that good came out of that?
Definitely good came out of it because it tested my faith. Right. And anybody can have faith when everything goes your way. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's easy
there you go.
It's easy to feel good. It's easy to praise God when everything is like on the up and up. But when you at the rock bottom, are you still able to say thank you? You feel what I'm saying? And when I was at the rock bottom, even though I felt like that, I was still able to say, I take nothing for granted. I know it's in your hands.
Count
even though it still felt crazy. So it was a test in life, and it really test your faith. You know what I mean? Like, do you really stay like that, or do you not? You know what I mean? And I stood strong. It was tough, but I stood strong. So out of it, it was just, to me, it was something where I can do what I'm doing now, give my testimony on feeling, on going through something, when I can share with the world, like, this is what happened with me. This is how I got through it. It was a very dark time, but it ended up being one of the best times in my life, with the end result of having my son. So that's what it was.
That set the tone.
So, I mean, that's what mine was.
All right, I can go.
Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead,
so
AG.
kind of staying within the family structure, right? And I'm going to use that, that setup as an example. Back in the day, about 18, 19 years old, I did absolutely everything wrong with getting into a relationship. So when you did everything right, everything you possibly can do wrong, I did. When I was with this young lady, I was making a transition from the way I was at the time to, just kind of being a little bit more serious, not being out and about. Got with someone based purely on more physical than anything. And I was like, she checks off a couple of the boxes, started hanging out with her. We moved way too fast and started having children. And we were terrible for each other. No, absolutely terrible. We're two kids. She's Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican. So there's that right there. But ultimately, beautiful family, great culture. I learned a lot of good things, but it just didn't work. Now, where the conflict or the where it gets kind of bad is, it was during a point where we shouldn't have been together. We were there just because of the kids. So I'm stepping out of the relationship. I was reckless, not coming home for days on end. You know what I mean? And I have 2 daughters. So I'm being a scumbag, but I just couldn't be around her. You know what I mean? It got to that point where we're constantly arguing, constantly fighting, doing everything wrong, and it was just terrible. But I couldn't stand being away from my daughters, if that makes any sense. I could not picture another man in the place that I called home raising my 2 daughters.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? That bothered me. So I think I made bad decisions because of that. And ultimately, this comes at a time where, I was doing very well financially in the mortgage business. So imagine this, during the financial crisis back in 07, 08, when everything was going down, I'm in the process of, I had to leave that house because it was getting toxic. It was getting terrible. So I left with nothing. And by the way, the industry that I was servicing, that I was killing myself 6 or 7 days out of the week, working 10-hour work days, killing it, making the money, being truly unhappy though. You know what I mean? I was chasing the wrong things, left that relationship with nothing, where I couldn't even sleep at night, bro. It was like when I closed my eyes at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm just, damn, I messed that up. I should have never done that. And now I have children that are going to look at me, and it hurts me every time I look at them, that I'm not living there. I'm not, tucking them to bed, reading the books, whatever the case may be. So I overcompensated, and I said, you know what? How I'm going to get through this is not what was done to me, because I come from a broken household.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My mom was a single mom, more focused on her career like I was, a workaholic. And I was 26, 27 at the time. So, I said, you know what? I'm not going to focus on my career as much as I'm going to focus on my children. So I got myself a career in the advertising agency because, salespeople, we figure it out, right? I would get off at work at 3 o'clock every day to make sure I picked them up, took them to their mom's house. I cooked them dinner. I did their homework with them every single time. So I did more than most men stay at their home.
In the house.
So I just focused, you know what? I'm bad people. Let me be good. Let me be good to at least them. I may have messed up this relationship, but not the relationship with my kids. Can't have that. So, I just focused on them. And the beautiful thing about it is, as that time progressed, and I was dating, I was out there doing what I did. When I decided, let me settle down and just, stop trying to chase and let me just see what happens, I meet my current wife. And with this, I tell you, it's complete night and day, right? Not only that, but everything that I ever lost, because, I lost houses, cars, I left everything because of the financial collapse and also leaving the relationship. I got back threefold. But the one thing I didn't take away is the knowledge of making money. You know what I mean? Where I used to kind of chase the money, now I don't worry about it. I let it work for me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was absolutely some of the best thing that could have happened to me, because it was a bad situation at the end of the day. But for that, I'll say like 6 months, that was a hard time. So that's why when I see people going through, whether it be like separation, work issues, personal issues, the pandemic was one thing. I make sure I check up on all my friends and family, because you never know what's going through.
You're absolutely fantastic with that.
Because I didn't have that. I had to figure that out on my own. You know what I mean? I was truly by myself, and it gets dark when you are only left to just be alone with your thoughts. If you don't have anything distracting you or anything to work towards, it gets tough. But I'll say this much, not much can hurt me after that.
Let me ask you, you said that earlier you came from a broken home.
Yeah.
So how much was that weighing on you in the back of your mind as you're going through, my house is kind of broken, what can I do to try to stabilize it from afar?
Bro, so being that I'm a product of that, and I remember being alone as a child and having to deal with things by myself, because I didn't have family out here. I'm from Puerto Rico. My family's out there in New York or Florida. So being truly alone out here, I made sure that, number one, that doesn't happen again. And I fought for that, right? Because I couldn't be around the mom. That wasn't going to happen. To this day, I can't see her walking down the street. I'll be like, wow, let her be over there. I'm gonna go over there. I can't. We can't breathe the same air. Is it because of her attitude, or is it because of your attitude towards her? She's crazy.
Okay.
She's the worst kind of human being. That's a pod, though. That's another pod. She's the worst kind of human being.
That's a good title.
That's the worst kind of human being. That is someone that just won't let me live, man. Okay. But God bless. I hope she figures it out. Okay. She'll be all right though. But no, that had a lot to do with it, Trey. Because my mom used to always say, "You're just like your father. You're just like your father." That cuts deep. Right there on the side. So I'm like, I didn't want to be like my father. So, I did the complete opposite. And I think that has officially severed that, because my children only know me and their mom, and that's all they're going to know. Okay. They're not going to have another man, raising my children. And funny enough, with my from my first relationship, my 20-year-olds, they only know me as their father. So the one thing that I was so concerned about when I stopped caring about that and more being in there, just being the best father I can be, that solved it all.
20-year-olds, bro. You look like you 35, bro.
Amen. I'm old.
Hey,
okay. I've lived.
I see.
I've lived.
What you got, Trey?
Yeah, it's your turn.
I thought Weekend at Junior's was going on. Okay. All right. So I lived like a lot of my life, like consciously knowing that I can't deal with my family members dying, right? Like I lived that type. I had that type of psychosis, right? Even though my younger life was transient. You know what I mean? Yeah. Transient meaning you bouncing around, you moving around, not by choice, but by evictions by staying with this person. But the people who couch that I was sleeping on, I loved them.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because they offered that. You know what I'm saying? They fed me. They fed us. They fed me and my sister, who was 5 years older than us. So that was like my trauma partner. You know what I'm saying? The shit we going through is embarrassing, but me and you going through it together. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so just growing up, and then the people that were there for me started just dying, just back and forth, just dying. My aunts, my grandmother. So I finally hit the point in life where I'm married. Things are going good for me. Having had my first son. My sister, who was like my toxic struggle partner, we laugh about all the stuff that nobody wouldn't know what the inside joke was.
Yeah.
So she's. I went over to see her one day. She's like, yeah, I haven't went to the bathroom in 2 weeks. I'm like, who the fuck don't go to the bathroom in 2 weeks? And why are you just telling me this 2 weeks after you?
Right.
So we go get her checked out. She has stage 4 cancer. Right. And so me and my sisters, our humor was just so weird. I'm like, man, that shit is nothing. We about to go get some medicine. We about to go kick that shit in the butt, right? So we laughing. She's going to her treatments and things like that, chemo treatments. And so a couple years go by. She still seems fine, right? I'm having my second child. My wife is then pregnant with my second child. All of a sudden, it takes a turn. Yeah. It takes a horrible turn. At that point, in my brain, I could not fathom my sister not being on earth with me, going through this shit that we go through, dealing with our father, dealing with our mom, dealing with everything. Right. This is the only person that understands me. So, I actually reached out to a holistic nurse who came over, and when I tell you we started juicing for this girl, I was going to farmers markets, getting all kind of beets, all kind of shit for the nurse to juice for her. And when I tell you how, if people would just go other than just the chemo route and understanding how you can heal yourself with just fruits and fucking vegetables, it really works if you can catch it early. Okay. Right. By the way, we not doctors here. Yeah. I'm just telling you my personal experience. Okay. Her speech got better. She started moving around better. The worst part was that it spread to her brain. Yeah. And once it spread to her brain, it's that's something that you still don't want to reckon with, but it's here. Meanwhile, my sister has two children that I raised. Both of their fathers were not the men that they should have been, put it like that, in their lives. Both of them, especially my niece, who's in her 30s now, she looked at me as her dad, as she still does to this day. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. I got a wife, I got my own children, and I also have these two, and also my niece who lost her mom early. So I'm like, in my mind, I have nobody that I can articulate this shit to.
Right.
And meanwhile, I've always been the person that people would call.
Yep.
I don't call people. It's not because I'm arrogant. It's just because I'm so used to dealing with shit. It's just another normalcy for me. But the person that was there for me was my sister all the time. And so I did not reckon with my sister passing away until 3 days before she passed away. 3 days before I came to see her, she was just nonverbal. She was just there. My mother looked at me with, being a mom. She's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be good, right? She looked at me and I just shook my head, like, that's when I came to the conclusion, like, okay, what the fuck is my whole life gonna be like after this now, right? So she transitions and I, man, people that, just like E said, I had people that reach out to me like who you wouldn't think. I had people reaching out to me who never met their parents. Their father, right? Just knew their mom. My wife's cousin, he reaches out. People who you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't think that person was going to do it. That's the person that will reach out to you. And to this day, I remember the phone calls because I was just sitting there. I got small kids, but how do I turn into a person that asks for help and asks for things when I've always been the opposite? Yeah. I've been the person who people call. Not a macho thing. So the next person who was my next lifeline was my uncle, who was like my father. A couple years after that, he passes away. My man who I talk to every single day, COVID comes. He goes from COVID. He passes away from COVID. And then at the same point, I've never sat down, just like we're doing now. Right. I've never sat down and talked about it until just now. How do I deal with it? I'm gonna tell you what I naturally did. Everybody might handle it different, right? What I did was I went inside. And what I mean inside was just figuring out, okay, what can I do to help my brain, to help my trauma without me, being nasty towards my wife, being nasty towards my kids. I started running. I just started to run. And when I started to run, I started to develop the habit of running. I lost close to 100 pounds from it, but more than what it did for me physically, mentally, it was everything to me. It was everything to me. Once my man got COVID, I would drive to Richmond in the morning, about an hour and a half drive. I would get back right before it was time for my kids to get off the bus, right? Once I got them in the house, I would go running. So I'm crying, I'm dealing with it as I'm running, but that fucking run has to be there. The run has to get done. I can't function without getting that, because that's the therapy that I'm going through as I'm running. Everything is internalized, and when I come back in the house, I left everything out there on that run, right? So I'm present to my wife, I'm present to my children, and I can't expect somebody else to handle my problems for me. I have to understand, okay, what are the actionable steps that I'm taking that we're going to talk about, which we're going to talk about as well. Yeah. Actionable steps were acknowledging that it's a problem. Number 2, developing a goal or plans. The goal is just the end result. It's the process. You have to have a process on what you want to on what you want to do. And so I got through those things because shit, when I needed to talk to my uncle about my sister, I called my uncle. When I needed to talk to my sister about my uncle, I called my sister. Right. Nobody's fucking there anymore. So then what happened to me was I started to develop other relationships with other people. So that's how I would deal with it. If I knew you, I would get closer to you. If we talked about, I'll start asking people just questions about their family. You know what I'm saying? And then if they're beefing with them, I'm giving them, good advice on how to handle that, because you never know. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. So I became that person. I got back into coaching. Now, when shit happens, you have to understand what the opportunities are in those dark places. It's still opportunities. It's an opportunity for you to use that pain. You can translate it into something positive. I've been a coach for my oldest son for 4 or 5 years now. That shit helps me. When I'm on that field, I'm thinking about my uncle. When I'm coaching my son, right? When I'm talking to my niece, I'm thinking about my sister and things like that. So, but I'm helping you through my self-development. I'm not helping you through my self-sacrifice. So by me developing, it's helping my environment around me, because they're like, damn, if Trey can get through that, if Trey can get through that, if he can maneuver it and still create and get into, that's the biggest thing, getting into the creative. And I'm telling you how manifestation works. This is part of the manifestation of, if I wasn't that type of person that you would think is good to be in this environment, because all of us have a lot of friends, right? But you're like, nah, it's something about that person that'll work here. Right. That's part of my process. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take the whole show up, but that's good. I'm waiting on my boy Weekend and Juniors. This why we came to the show, baby.
No, but thanks for sharing.
Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it.
What you got, Weekend?
I'll say for me, something that I mean, it's still some things I'm working on right now to overcome. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, but one thing is I'll start out as negative thoughts, right? But the negative thoughts, it's something I didn't realize. It turned into a situation where it turned into suicidal thoughts. You know what I mean? Like I grew up like seeing situations where people commit suicide or talk about the times where they had suicidal thoughts, right? And I ain't never judged. I have a natural empathy for people because you never know what people going through. Like on the outside, someone can have, the dopest car, the freshest clothes. They can have all the chicks. They can have degrees, money. You know what I mean? You'll sit back and wonder, like, man, you got to be happy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it could look like that, but a lot of times you just never know. Like material things and status doesn't mean things. So, I'm a type of person that I'm used to having. I have empathy, and people will come to me, just being a friend with their issues. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless of what I was going through, whenever somebody come to me, I forget what I'm going through and listen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always easier listening to somebody else's problems. You know what I'm saying? You could feel like Dr. Phil out there. You know what I'm saying? On a TV show giving advice, but it's coming from a good place. But I think what happened with me, it was a point where I was just stuck on this negative thoughts, thinking about things I didn't have or things that haven't been accomplished yet. Stuff that people have, that I've been through with people, just different situations where, you'll feel hurt, you know what I'm saying, or heartbroken, whatever it is, and not understanding why things are happening. And it got to a point where one day, I think it was just a build up. Like certain situations just start happening. Certain situations just like certain things just happened. I didn't know why it was happening. Certain things I had to be honest with myself, like I was causing it. You know what I mean? I had to look at what I was doing and things that I wasn't doing and doing. And I remember just sitting here one day in the room, and I'm just thinking about everything hitting me. I said, man, you know what? If I was just to pull this plug, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have to worry about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, I couldn't find a way out of everything that was happening. It was like so many different things that felt like it was happening at the same time. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm really like, I got a lot of heart for people who have suicidal thoughts or who commit suicide. Some people feel like, when they hear like they commit suicide, like, they selfish, or they'll talk bad about them, but you're not in your right mind. You know what I'm saying? When you start considering, when you're suicidal or when you're considering like taking your own life, you know what I mean? So when I started thinking like, if I do this, I won't have to worry about this. I ain't got to deal with this. I said that's my answer. And then like I noticed immediately at that time, I got like it was a sigh of relief, right? Yeah. It was like a relief. I was like, yeah. I even like smirked a little bit, but then it like scared me. I was like, like that. You're not supposed to be relief. That's not the way out. You know what I mean? Like, but at the time, it felt like that's all I could do. You know what I mean? So I had to. It's tough, you know what I mean? Like, it was a number of things that I did. You know what I'm saying? I had to immediately just be honest with myself. And realize what my mind state was, and I know that's not normal. I had to be honest with myself, and like all them years that I wondered, like, I don't know, like how thinking that it can never happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm that's naturally, I'm not perfect, but I was like grew up, been through stuff, but naturally a happy person. You know what I'm saying? But it could happen to anybody. I had to like just swallow my pride, like like you human, you know what I mean? And then I had to pray a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, good. Like I try to have a healthy prayer life, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times I'm not perfect, you know what I mean? Like I don't never want to become the person that only pray when something happens, but I had to start like really praying about my mind state, because it was something that I couldn't conquer on my own, you know what I'm saying? Like I was brought up in the church, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I have a certain belief, and a higher power know that like that my God is Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of whether I talk about it or not, but I know that that's who I turn to, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of praying, and then I had to, I started just looking at areas, things that I can change, you know what I'm saying? Certain situations, you know what I'm saying? And what I found out, it wasn't as time went on, it wasn't that bad, you know what I'm saying? Like the situations that I thought that I couldn't get out of, you know what I'm saying? Like through prayer and me just changing my thought life and the way I was living my life, you know what I'm saying, things I was doing, it wasn't that bad for me, you know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, it doesn't turn out that way for everybody. Now, I wasn't like suicidal, but I don't know what you call when you think of that possibility and you feel like a relief. I don't know what you would call it. I was like,
that's what it sounded like.
Well, maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't think about actually doing it. You just thought that it would be fixed.
But that's like real though, bro. And you know the realest part about it is that a lot of people have them thoughts.
Yep.
And the people that you see on an everyday basis, like you said, that just look like normal, regular people, laughing, joking. You don't know what they're going through, and everybody's going through something. I didn't want to cut you off if I did.
No.
I was just going to say, with everything that we just talked about, we always like to bring it on a positive note. And the whole conversation's been positive, but we just try to give you a positive outlook because most people are going through something or have gone through something. And I just want to say that if you are, of course, the normal thing that a person to tell you to do is talk to somebody, which is, you know, I haven't got therapy for anything, but I've heard that that's a great thing. The second thing I was going to say is that Trey gave the example of working out.
Yep.
I work out. I hit the gym. Even though you do that, the good thing that is twofold with when you work out, because it's good for your mental and it's good for your physical. You put your earphones on and you zone out and you start thinking about goals. I think sometimes if you setting goals in life, small goals and plans, and then working to achieving small goals. It's one thing to say, you know what, I'm gonna get $1 million.
Right.
Well, you might get $1 million one day, but let's work on the $500 first. You know what I mean? And then we can grow and like that. So there's many ways that when you're having issues that you can go through. Some people don't believe in a higher power or whatever. It's hard for me to speak to that. You know what I mean? But if you don't believe in a higher power, I guess you can believe in going to therapy. We're trying to reach everybody. But if you do believe in a higher power, you need to get on them knees and pray also. So there's many things. And if you do have loved ones in your family, some people don't. Some people do. It's okay to talk to people that you feel comfortable talking with and feeling that love. Let's just say, for instance, that most of the time you're a loner, but you do have a good family member. You do have cool family. You do have cool friends, but you're a loner. Sometimes you need to say, you know what? I'm a loner, but I need to be around some people.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then you need to call those people up and say, and then try to, you know, have an outing or go to their house, whatever it is. Don't just get so stuck on, I just do me and I don't need nobody, because we all need somebody. And that's just the truth about it. Trey, you was going to say something. I didn't want to.
No. I'm just adding on to what you're saying, because we've had shows where we talked about how men don't talk. Well, we could switch that to just people, because based on your environment might have been so traumatic where it's easy for you not to express, right? But you really are going through things. And just to add on, I can actually pull up the numbers. Suicide rates are through the roof now. And ever since, I believe, 2020 and beyond, because people are they've convinced themselves that nobody can help me.
Right.
But I don't know the words that he might say to me. Me and him might just go on a walk, and me just seeing the trees blow, listening to this person's words. This person is talking to me. I'm valuable enough to have a conversation with. Oh man, this person is sharing his life with me. So just people just reaching out, like you said, it's like I'm telling you, what I was just like I just said it. I was the person that people would call. So in my mind, that means, oh, I don't call people. People call me.
Right.
That can come off as arrogant, but that was really the life that was my identity, right? But is that something that I should just hold on to? Hell no, especially when I need somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, but just to add on, four steps to, and this is from a scientist, and then we'll put the person's name and things like that in the show notes if we can. The raised awareness, the awareness of this is an actual problem for me. Whatever it is, whatever the mental issue is, focus your attention. Focus your attention on what you want to do to try to get yourself out of that mindset. And notice also, this is key, noticing what the opportunities are that's around you. What the creative part of you is. Art, podcast. Talk about what you're going through to people. deliberate practice, doing the actual work, the actionable steps, and then holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
So those are 4 steps that can help people just start walking, because that's going to help your thoughts are going. Your brain is going to start to move once you start putting your body in that motion, hitting the gym, walking, jogging. So I just wanted to add that to you.
Well, we gonna wrap it up close to kind of there. Unless somebody else had something to say.
Yeah, we had to ask the rec room about how we feel about women splitting the bills.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. We do have a segment I forgot that's called Ask the Rec Room. And with this segment, what we do is we have people who they go on our Instagram page. By the way, is the Rec Room Pod. And you can go follow us on Instagram, and then the listeners they post questions and scenarios, and they ask us what we think or what our opinion is. And I guess one of the people who follow us, sorry, I didn't even have my notes to have a name and everything like that. But the Tyler Perry had put out, or he did an interview or something like that.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
And
Essence, there you go.
Okay. And what was the question that he posed? Or
he was talking about things that successful black women should be open to splitting bills, everything down the middle. As far as if she's making $200-300, and my man at Metro, or my man he's making not as much as she's making.
Right.
Can she coexist with him and splitting the actual bills with him, as opposed to, oh no, you the man, you supposed to take care of all that.
Well, I'm gonna give my opinion real quick. I feel like that if me personally, if I had it to where I could pay every bill and my wife didn't have to pay no bill, I would do it without a thought.
Got it.
Yep.
So to me, it's all about where you are financially to be able to do that. I don't know any man that doesn't want to take care of their woman if they can. If you have the means. Now, it just depends. If you don't have the means, then you can't do it. I don't know about the 50-50 thing. It just depends on, are we talking about marriage? Are we talking about a relationship?
Let's talk about
overall,
a
right?
relationship.
Just overall,
relationship.
Okay.
I think he
Which
was
could be
using that whole
leading to
bill
marriage.
thing. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
when you going out, you dating, covering the bill. I think that led to another piece of
Okay.
it. You
There you
dig?
go.
Okay. So if we going to do it there, I'll give my opinion on that.
Hey.
What restaurant?
we're going to.
I tell you this.
Roots Chris.
I tell you this.
Roots Chris.
If I take you out 3 times, and and the fourth time,
Here we go.
And the
That's
fourth
good, solid.
time you don't offer you leave the tip,
Listen to him.
or pay for anything, I'm probably not going to talk to you no more, because women will date you just to hang out with you and get treated to a meal. If we haven't had any physical contact with each other, I don't know that you mess with me like that. So why wouldn't you hang with me, and why wouldn't you accept that I'm paying for everything? If you don't show me some type of way that you're going to pay for something, it's not even about the money. It's just about the gesture. It's
the principle.
It's going to let me know that you don't really rock with me like that, and I'm probably going to stop talking to you. Actually, I've done that.
So can I say something? So can I say something? You just said, now I'm not, let's speak in general. I'm not talking about E. You said that if it wasn't no physical interactions,
yes, sir,
and we still hitting these restaurants,
yes, sir,
that you might bring up. I ain't even talking about going out, but you talking about going out. So okay, so now the man, I ain't talking about nobody in this room, but the man might feel still obligated that they gotta pay.
Right.
But you said, like, look, we haven't.
Right.
So if you had the physical interactions, are you okay with paying more? I'm just saying.
So look,
that's how men think. That's how men think, but don't judge the man. But he like, listen, he don't know if this is just a financial thing, but I'm just taking you out to eat all the time. Okay, is this growing into something? Now,
I mean,
is it transactional?
If we did something physical, it would make it would make me not be as on it as hard, but at the same time,
It's
still
real talk though.
would like to see
real talk.
There it is.
It will mean something to me if you do say something. I mean, if you do gesture to actually pay for something. It's still for me personally, it makes me feel like
just go in your pocket. You don't
Make
have
you
to
feel better, right?
Hey, just
Exactly.
make me feel like you are attempting.
Well,
that's my take on
the
it.
person that goes on dates a lot. Can you answer that question?
Yeah, we
How
can
you
feel
feel about that day? This is my
the
main-
date expert.
I mean, I don't expect it, honestly. Just the way society is set up. So when I go into a date, I don't really expect the woman to do anything. If she does that at some point, it's a standout. If she will stand out to me, but like I don't go in thinking like, all right, after a couple of days, if you don't, I'm not. There's nothing wrong thinking like that. I'm just saying. For me, I had to make myself think like that. 'Cause I'm going to be upset every time because like I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Everybody's different.
It's good. I mean, everybody's different.
There's only certain women that would offer and like willingly offer to no, babe, I got it this time. Not even women that I was in a relationship with. Like they liked me that much. So, but it wasn't every single woman. You know what I mean? So
Look, I'll tell you, it's also cultural, right? Because in the Hispanic culture, you ask out a girl, you got to take care of it. It's understood, right? Even though women right now, and especially in this area, you have a lot of very successful women here.
True.
Definitely.
That they'll do something, to your point, E. Like Hispanic women are so used to seeing the man pay that they don't even want the man to pay. Because they're like, I don't want you to have that control over me. I don't want you to think you're going to get something out of it.
Oh, okay.
So
Wait
now,
a minute.
when I was dating, and this was
That's
like 12
different.
years ago, right? I was out there a lot. And I can tell you that a lot of times, you're going to see the
edit
content light up.
I edit
But
for you.
I'll tell you, like,
Nah,
I just, it was just a couple of dates and I would just go home and read. That's all. But I could tell you this, because I actually had the pleasure of dating a lot of nationalities and cultures, right?
Okay.
A lot of the women, whether they came from cultures where the man is expected to pay, I always looked at, like to your point, E, I don't want to be always the one going in my pocket. A lot of times they will actually offer. And as we got more closer and closer, they will still, look,
That make
you
you
got
feel
me
better.
on this
It
one,
does.
cool.
It make
But
you
I'm
feel
going to
better.
make sure I got you on the other one.
Right.
Because there's also that level. You know what I mean? Like equality aspect of it, right?
Yes.
Well, women are proud to be like, oh no, honey, I got it on
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's dead.
Absolutely.
Or my favorite was when the night is wrapping up and they say, honey, I got it. I already took care of it. We can leave now.
Okay.
You know how
can't
sexy
expect,
that
you
is?
can't
That's
expect
dope,
that right
though.
now because if you expect,
how is
if
it
you
now,
expect
now?
that, if you
How is
expect
it
that now, you're considered a female.
But you know what? No, you know what the problem is
I'm being
now?
honest.
You know what the problem
Nah,
is
that's a
now?
good point.
Why the hell do I know what another person is doing on their dates? Isn't that a 1 and 2 person conversation? Why are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on the
Dog,
opinions
as a
and telling them what they
I'm
should and
telling you,
shouldn't
You're
do?
supposed to pay for
And
everything,
but
son.
why is it that
That's how it
single
is.
people are dictating what people that are dating or that are supposed to be like in successful relationships telling me what to do if I'm single? You dig what I'm saying? Because I understand the beautiful thing about social media is everybody has an opinion. We just don't need to hear it.
What I think is this. This is what I think. First of all, it's why it is up to this person and that person. It's extremely situational.
True.
It's based on, am I trying to get something from this person immediately? Is this transactional? I'm only doing this because I'm trying to sleep with you. So I don't mind doing it, but after a certain amount of time, if I'm not getting what I intended, then I'm and she not trying to pay and right. But if I'm coming into it from a friendship standpoint, like she's
Right.
cool, she's going to get the energy off of this guy because she understands. Listen, we women they understand the game. They know if they're gonna sleep with you. They know if they're gonna go on more dates with you. They know if they're gonna answer the phone when you call.
True.
When they first meet you.
Yep.
That's unless you show them something that's gonna make them think otherwise.
True.
So if you go into it before I met my wife 45 years ago,
Hey.
when I was on the dating site, I told myself I'm just trying to meet cool females. I wasn't even tripping off of the sex. And what happened? It was going on date after date after date after date. Met some crazy ones, met some cool ones. I met the ones that knew the other ones that I was just on a date with because of of that network that actually happened. When I got off of the website, I got a message. A woman that I didn't even see on the dating site. I was swipe. Man, I was going through like 10,000 pictures a week. Just swipe. I never seen the person's picture that hit me. That person is now my wife. You understand what I'm saying?
That's dope.
And then once we started to hang out, it was just all cool. Everything was cool. Bowling, I wasn't tripping off anything. Neither was she. We gave things time to develop.
Well, that was Ask the Rec Room.
Hey.
And like I say, anybody that has a question or anything like that, you can hit us on the Instagram. Also, this episode was sponsored by Black owned, which I'm just mentioning it. It's called Lonely Cloud Apparel. The website I think is lonelycloud.com, or you can follow them on Instagram also. It's a dope hoodie line, and it's just about positivity, loving yourself. So if you're a person who loves yourself, you need to get a Lonely Cloud hoodie.
Goes along with the episode.
And
That's right.
Oh, and like I always say, every Thursday we do pod on Podbean. Those are live episodes at 8:00 p.m. every Thursday. Those are all audio. Download the Podbean app and join us on there. All the pods are uploaded to they go to Amazon, Apple, all those different platforms. And this concludes the pod, and then we see y'all next time, man.
Next time, everybody.
Have a good week.